Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. I'm really excited to be back in the kitchen this Wednesday because we're doing something a little differently this month. I decided that I wanted to actually go back in time and feature a recipe from cookbook issue number 6. That's this cookbook right here. And the reason being is because I woke up and it was pouring rain where I live and super windy. And so I really wanted to make a soup today, something that's going to be like heartwarming, soul warming. It's just what the doctor ordered, I think. So I'm actually going to be making with you a delicious carrot sweet potato soup. But in fact, I've already made it. So we're going to talk about the benefits of eating soup. I'm going to explain how to make this recipe. And then I'm going to go into actually how to add protein to your soups and make this a really healthy habit in the home. If you have any questions along the way, just pop them in the comment box and I'd love to engage with you along the way, all right? All right, so here at Plant-Based Made Easy, we make an easy, healthy, and delicious recipe each time I come on and do an episode. And it's a really kind of a cool thing that I've established here within this community. Not only do I create a monthly cookbook, but we have a Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook on Plant-Based Made Easy community on Facebook with over 5,000 people. And it's a really cool community. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Totally free to be a part of it and totally free to watch any of my episodes and recipes online. And I stream weekday to Facebook, Twitter, and to YouTube. So if ever you want to go back and rewatch a recipe and make it for your family or friends, it's all evergreen content. So I'm doing this for you because I want you to have the information. And I want to let you know that if you want this recipe in particular that we're going to talk about today, I do write a monthly cookbook, and this is coming straight from my Plant-Based Made Easy issue number 6 cookbook. But one of the things that I want to feature is the fact that in every cookbook, I follow a recipe matrix. So I actually plug and chug with the seasons and the available ingredients that are really in my marketplace and at the local farms that I'm shopping at and farmers markets. And what I do is I always have different recipes that you're going to see repeated from month to month. So for instance, soup, you're always going to find a soup recipe in the monthly cookbook. And this one in particular is really delicious. It's carrot and sweet potato. And I needed a little extra protein today because I took a run this morning. So I'm actually adding some lentils. I added some yellow lentils. And I want to talk about actually how to make your soups delicious. So I'm going to do an overhead cam so you can see this with me. Here's my soup here. And I just want to Can you hear me? All right, I think that there was a little problem there with the audio. Can you hear me now? Jennifer, let me know if you can hear me now. I think you can. All right, cool. All right, so as I was saying, you can make this soup however you want. I'm going to do a split screen. Maybe that's going to be a little bit better. There we go. And here we go. I'm going to show you here that this soup contains a mirepoix of ingredients. So celery, carrot, and onion, which I actually saute. You can use a water saute, or you can use a little extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Now, if you're whole food plant-based, you probably don't want to use any salt, oil, or sugar in your recipes, which is absolutely fine because you can actually make soup and you can cook down the veggies of any soup using a water saute. So that's just a few tablespoons of water in the bottom of your pot along with your veggies, and then any salt substitute that you like, and it will just be really delicious. Hi, Keisha. Oh my gosh. Good to see you, friend. All right, Jennifer, thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Now, now's the time after you've sauteed the veggies, you can add a little sweet potato. I'm using a California sweet potato because it's really delicious. It has a really nice sweetness to it, but it also has a really nice creaminess. And you can see here that the actual sweet potato itself kind of breaks down into like a kind of delicious kind of creaminess in the soup. So I don't have any chunks of sweet potato left because they've all kind of like, just like, you know, cooked down and thickened this soup. It's really delicious. Now, if you wanted to make this soup your own, you can actually add other ingredients. This is something a little bit more unique. How about an apple? This is a really wonderful ingredient to add to your recipe if you want an added sweetness. So I'm going to use any pink-skinned or yellow-skinned apple would be great. Avoid a Granny Smith apple for your soups because that's a little too tart, but something that has a sweetness is going to be really great. And the apple itself will also cook down in the soup. So this is also going to act like the potato. It's going to kind of thicken and sweeten without it being like a chunkiness. Now, I told you I wanted to add a little extra protein to my soup. So today I've added some lentils. So let's talk about lentils for a second. I have 3 different kinds. You can see them here in my bowls. First things first, we'll talk about the green lentil. I'm going to show you in the overhead. This is the standard green lentil, you guys. It takes anywhere between 25 to 35 minutes to cook up. And it's really good, high in protein, kind of neutral flavor, really super delicious inner kind of softness, and the skin stays intact. So that's really a yummy lentil that I love. Here's another one. Here is a split pea or a red lentil. And these are lentils that you can see they've kind of like split open or split in half. All right, these are really great because these actually thicken your soup. They will not actually kind of remain in the shape of a lentil after just about 15 to 20 minutes. They actually disintegrate in the soup itself, adding a lot more creaminess. So you could use these. That's a red split lentil. Or you can use a yellow lentil, which is what I use today. These are similar to a green lentil in that the skin kind of stays intact and the form stays intact, but they're really delicious and they add a lot of protein. So I'm going to add to the screen a really cool graphic because I think it's interesting, and I think you might think that it's interesting as well. Let's see here. There we go. All right, can you guys see this okay? I'm going to come in and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So I wanted to just show you, this is the ultimate guide to pulses. Pulses are a fancy word for beans or dals or dried peas. And I love talking about pulses. We'll first start talking about beans. That's on the top here. And these beans are really, really yummy. These come in lots of different kinds of shapes, colors, and lots of nutrients. So we have the adzuki bean at top, the green gram. We have the kidney bean or the horse gram. We also have the black-eyed pea and then the black beans at the bottom, all right? Then there's the dried peas, which is the next category. Those are the white peas or the green peas. Those can be harder to find here in the United States, but they do exist usually in bulk bins in the dry area of your bulk bin. And then there's also, I'm coming back to it, the dulls, which we just talked about, all right? So that's the split green, which we've talked about, the wonderful yellow, and then pigeon peas are the reds, which I have showed you, okay? So these are really good, super high in protein. They add lots of thickness to your soups and your stews. And then the last here is the chickpeas. And these are obviously chickpeas and black chickpeas. Again, black chickpeas are harder to find. Chickpeas are the ones that we find here in the United States. And then here at the bottom, we have the lentil varieties. You can have red lentils or pigeon peas. Now, these are repeating what kind of the same thing that we've talked about. Some of these are multiple categories. But I just wanted to show you that because I really like looking at kind of the whole spectrum of different foods that you can add to your dishes to add protein, all right? So really kind of cool to think about if you want to make this recipe your own, how can you make it more nutrient dense? So think about, okay, what are you hungry for? What are the things that you're kind of craving? And I really love to go into like my intuitive eating vibe right before I make a decision about what I'm going to eat for my next meal. I really like to check in with my body and ask myself, what is it that I'm hungry for? Am I craving some like starchy foods, like things like potatoes, things like bread, things like grains? Am I craving starchy foods? That is probably an indicator that I need more carbohydrates. And so I'm going to go for that. If I'm craving more kind of protein-rich foods, I want that like kind of heavy feel, all right? Then I might go to my beans, my pulses, my lentils, my sugar snap peas, green beans. All of these are going to be really kind of nutrient-dense foods. Even soy, like tofu, and tempeh and seitan, all of these are really kind of great because they come from a bean source, all right? And even you guys have seen me make pasta with just beans, so you can totally actually go opt in for a pasta that is from a bean variety, and that's going to give you a really great, good protein punch. So think about what is your body hungry for, and then make the decision to eat the foods that you're really hungry for. And you're going to find if you nourish yourself according to what you really want, you're going to feel a lot better. All right, you guys, this soup is nearly done. Before I serve it up, I just want to actually make sure that this is tasting good and it's seasoned well. So let me just go and get a little tasting spoon here. I'm going to taste for seasoning, of course, salt and pepper, but also taste for savory qualities like the garlic and the onion. And if you need to add anything more, you can do that right now. Oh, it's so good. Thanks, Jennifer. She says she likes my top. Look, it's the astrology chart. All right, I think I definitely need a little bit more black pepper, and I need a little bit of salt too. I can just tell. Like I said, you guys, I'm not whole food plant-based, but a lot of my recipes are. So make this your own. If you are whole food plant-based and you don't do salt, add your favorite salt substitute. That's going to be totally fine and really delicious. All right, this is fantastic. I want to taste it one more time. Don't worry, it's only me eating this, so I'm going to use the same tasting spoon. That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to season. As I seasoned as I was cooking this soup. So as I added ingredients, I added salt and pepper. Each time I added a different ingredient. So after I've cooked down the onion, the carrot, and the celery, I then added salt and pepper. And then once I added the sweet potato, and if I wanted to add garlic or apple, I would then salt again, okay? And then salt one more time at the end, or taste for seasoning. I should say season at the end, because some of you don't eat salt. Season at the end and just make sure it's really delicious before your final plate is served. All right, I'm gonna plate it up right now. I got my nice big bowl, and I love to serve a soup, especially lunch soup, with a little charger or a little plate underneath. It makes it feel fancy. And I love that. All right, so I'm just gonna plate this up. You guys, again, if you want this recipe, check out issue number 6. The link is the first comment here in the comment box. I would love for you to purchase this cookbook or any of my cookbooks, you guys. But I really love the fact that I went back and featured a recipe out of one of my past cookbooks, because they are evergreen. You can actually pick up any of these cookbooks at any point, and you can enjoy plant-based eating and living. All of these recipes are really useful kind of any time throughout the year. And this recipe is fantastic. It's great for lunch or a dinner. This looks really good. I want to clean up my plate just to make sure it's picture perfect, because I'm going to take a photo for YouTube and for Facebook. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Before I let you go, let me just taste this one more time. But first, let me show you. Just look how gorgeous this is. I'm going to show you in the overhead here. Yum, right? Beautiful color, really nice and creamy. I'm going to now taste it up. Before I do, I'm going to give this food a little gratitude. Thank you, food. Make sure it's not too hot. Here we go. Oh, it's so heartwarming. It's so creamy. It's really nice and sweet, but not overly sweet. And it's got a wonderful savory quality too from the onion and the garlic. It's really good. Keisha, I know you're going to like this recipe. Make this for your family. Cindy, I know that you like this recipe too. You've made a version of it on your cooking show, which I love. Yay, Lindia, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys, try this recipe. Get into the kitchen, you guys. Make it fun and make it your own. I always emphasize this. You can use any ingredients and any recipes that I have with any ingredients that you have to make these recipes exactly right for you and your family, all right? So you don't feel like you have to follow the recipe to the T. Enjoy yourself, make it your own, and enjoy the process. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys are inspired to go put on a pot of soup for yourself. I hope that you'll come back for more. I'm going to be back in the kitchen all the rest of the week, so Thursday and Friday. Please join me. And you guys, join our Facebook group, Plant-Based Made Easy, because it's an amazing community, totally free to join, totally free to watch all of these episodes. All I ask is that you please support me You can purchase any of my cookbooks. Like I said, I write a new monthly cookbook every single month. These get delivered straight to your inbox. If you subscribe to be a monthly member of our cookbook subscription, you will get the newest version of the cookbook sent to you every single month. And it's a wonderful investment of your health. So consider that, you guys. Thank you again. I can't wait to be back in the kitchen tomorrow, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.